Hi, everybody. There was a question asked at the end of the shloka during the discussions, and I just wanted to share quickly. When I had answered, as I reflected later, um, I answered in a way I typically do, in the sense that I always look for the brighter side, the positive side. So it was easy at the time, and it was the truth as I answered that question. But as I'm working on this path and even on myself and understanding I need to go a little bit deeper, I thought about it, and probably like 7 years in the past, that's not how I would have typically responded or behaved or thought. And what I had to work on was that it was difficult to think good of people, especially when they're not there. I know the question was about in speaking to other people, but I thought about it, and in the past, there were events in my life where I started to not trust people as quickly, as easily. And so anytime, say it was somebody in my life and an item was gone missing, I could have misplaced it, or more time than not, that's the case. Or somebody had asked to borrow and I had forgotten. But my mind always went to accusing the other person, to blaming another person. For whatever reason, that was the new habit I had gotten. Because when I was young, I didn't think that way. But as events took place in my life and as I began to trust less, then it was quick to blame and accuse. So as I've been working on that and noticing where my mind goes, and then taking a second or two to say no, think about it, or checking on the feeling. So I would usually get this rage of, blame, and then now it's kind of like, okay, what are the other things that can happen? So what are the other possibilities? But first, I have to take accountability. Could I have done this? Was it my fault? What choice did I make in leading, that to happen? And then if I was to think about the other person, then it was more like, okay, well, maybe they needed it, maybe they borrowed it, and I forgot. Um, but it's difficult to answer the question. It's difficult as an individual. It was difficult as an individual to go to a place where I'm thinking good about somebody that I love and I care for, that I was having issues with. Right? It's easy for a friend when everything's great, but what about the person that over time, they either lie, or you don't trust them. There's no respect. They don't have respect for you. So as you think about that, it gets harder and harder to speak well about somebody that you're close to that could have hurt you. And I mean, typically, I think everybody would speak pretty decent about another person if they didn't really have to deal with them and live with them and work with them and have a friendship with them. And I think in reflection, it's hard when you've been hurt or lied to, deceived, for you to think and speak well about another person. I think the work is in taking accountability for our own thoughts, our own actions, our own behaviors, and then move forward in saying, how do you want to think about this person? You want to be truthful. So if they have a habit of doing certain things, then you know that. So if you look for the kind things about them, and hopefully you can find one or two, that's what you think about and speak about. And until that other person decides to change who they are, there's nothing really you can do other than seeing the truth of them and accepting the truth of them. That's another difficult part, is that when somebody shows you who they are and you wish and you think that they could be better, and they're not trying to, they don't want to, the work is you. It's not them, it's you. And when I say you, I mean me. So I can't change anybody. I can't ask people to change. So, as we're listening to the shlokas and we're talking about, the blind king and his sons, I have compassion. I feel bad. I feel bad for them, in the sense that, we don't know the blind king's history and his relationship with his parents, because all of that connects. And I'm not blaming parents, because he's an adult. He can make his own choices. But I can understand. I can understand making the bad choices, making the wrong choices, and to some degree why. But at the same time, there are consequences of our thoughts, of our actions, of our words, and we do have our own little battlefields. We do. And the question is that when those battles come, are we thinking, even though we know we're in the wrong, are we thinking that we're in the right? Are we not taking accountability for the choices that we've made, to be able to understand that those have led us to the battlefield? And this is that internal battle. You get to choose whether you do right or wrong. You get to choose whether you're mean or nice to somebody. You get to choose if you respond in a mature, calm manner because you've thought about it, or if you react and the reacting is out of anger and hate and a lower frequency. So it's better to respond than to react, and that takes practice. And I'm not perfect at it. So I will continue my journey, and this will make more sense after. Hopefully, you will keep this in mind, and it will make more sense at the end. And if you've been covering Shlokas 1, 2, and 3, you have an understanding of what I'm saying. All right, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Om Asatoma Saragami, Tamasoma Jyotiragami, Mitro Amritam Gami. O Lord, may you lead us from untruth to truth, from darkness to light, and from mortality to immortality. Hariom Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Hari. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So, thank you.
Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, verse 4. Acha Sura Mahavesa Bhima Arjuna Samayudhi Yuyudhano Viratascha Drupadascha Maharataha. Here in this army, there are many heroic bowmen equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna. There are also great fighters like Duryodhana, Virata, and Drupada. Even though Drishtadyumna, I'm reading the translation, was not a very important obstacle in the face of Dronacharya, very great power in the military art, there were many others who were the cause of fear. They are mentioned by Duryodhana as great stumbling blocks on the path of victory, because each and every one of them was as formidable as Bhima and Arjuna. He knew the strength of Bhima and Arjuna, and thus he compared the others with them. What does yours say, Mataji?
Mine's is short. It says from the book. It says there is that army. There in that army are warriors, great archers equivalent in prowess to Bhima and Arjuna, and Duryodhana, Satyaki, Viratra, and Drupada, the mighty chariot warriors. And that's all I have. I think the next one is Shloka 5. Let me see. The app it says in this army, Satyakai and Virat, wielding huge bows and equal to Bhima and Arjuna in battle, are the mighty warriors like King Drupada, Drishtaketu, and Chekitana, the powerful king of Kashi, Parujit, Kunti, Byoja, the best of men, Shaibai, the mighty Yuhishtrita, and the powerful Uttamaja, Subhadra's son, Abhimanyu, and the 5 sons of Draupadi. All of them are great warriors. And then it says in the Shloka, it does say 4 through 6.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to keep reading the app?
Yes.
Okay. In the Shloka, Duryodhana, son of Dhritarashtra, describes his army to Guru Dronacharya. He says that his army also has many powerful warriors who are as valiant in battle as Bhima and Arjuna. Duryodhana shows his confidence by telling that his army is as strong and prepared as the Pandava army. Mahesh Shavasa, it means great archer. This adjective is used for warriors who are highly skilled in using bow and arrow. Bhima Arjuna Sama Yudi, it means equal to Bhima and Arjuna in battle. The warriors' valor and war skills are being compared to the Pandavas' chief warriors Bhima and Arjuna, who were famous for their immense strength and war skills. Duryodhana Satki, a favorite follower of Lord Krishna and a chief warrior of the Yandava. I'm sorry, I got that messed up. Duryodhana Satki, a favorite follower of Lord Krishna and a chief warrior of the Yadava clan. He was famous for his valor and war skills. Virata, the king of Maitsta country and the protector of the Pandavas during their exile. Virata was also an important Maharati. Drupada, king of Panchala and the father of Drupadi. He was also a powerful warrior and a former friend of Dronacharya. Duryodhana is trying to show the valor of his warriors in his verse, so that they can assure their guru, Dronacharya, that their army is fully prepared for the war. It also It is also clear from this verse that Duryodhana recognized the potential of his warriors and tried to motivate them. This verse displays the grandeur of the Mahabharata war and the power of the great warriors participating in it. Oh, hold on, I'm sorry. Can I be here? Sorry. You good?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. So, from what I understand, Dronacharya is trying to show the valor of his warriors in this verse so that he can assure their guru, Dronacharya, that their army is fully prepared for the war. It is also clear from this verse that Dronacharya recognized the potential of his warriors and tried to motivate them. This verse displays the grandeur of the Mahabharata war and the power of the great warriors participating in it, who are getting ready for a huge and decisive battle. In this verse, Sanjaya is showing Dhritarashtra the scene of the battlefield of Mahabharata in which he is describing the various warriors who have gathered to fight on the side of the Pandavas. Should I stop there because that goes into the next Shlokas 5 and 6, I believe, right?
Yeah. We could do the 5 and 6 because you're basically seeing the who are in the battle.
Okay, so then I can read it and then we can do 4 and read 4. You can do 4 and 5? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so Ketu, he was the king of Chedai country and was a brave warrior. He was fighting on the side of the Pandavas. Chekitan, he belonged to the Vishnu clan and was a friend of Sri Krishna. Chekitana was a great warrior and one of the main generals of the Pandava army. Kashidra, the king of Kashi, who was famous for his valor and bravery, he stood in support of the Pandavas. Puruji and Kunti Boha, both of them were brothers of Kunti, the mother of the Pandavas, so they were the maternal uncles of the Pandavas. They decided to support their nephews. Shaibai, he was a respected king who was famous for his policies and righteousness. He was also included in the Pandava army. All the warriors mentioned in the shloka were of great might and courage, and their loyalty and support to the Pandavas gives them special importance in the Dharma Yuddha. These warriors were to play an important role in the war of Mahabharata. This shloka is mentioned by Dhritarashtra giving the details of the Pandava army to his commander Sanjaya. He tells that the prominent warriors in the Pandava army include Yudhamanyu, Uttamayu, Abhimanyu, who is the son of Subharata, and the sons of Draupadi. All of them are Maharati, which means great warriors, who are extremely proficient in war skills and bravery. Here the word Maharatha is specifically used, which means that these warriors are not only strong in physical strength, but are also proficient in the strategy and art of war. This indicates that the Pandava army is extremely strong, not only in numbers, but also in quality. This mention is important because it makes Dhritarashtra suspect that this war will not be easy for the Kauravas, as the Pandavas also have great warriors and Maharati. Okay. So if you want to read 5 and 6, when we can.
Yes, 5 and 6. Dristaketus Chetikana Kasirajasta Viryavan Purojit Kuntibojascha Sabyascha Narapunjava Yudhamanyuscha Vikranta Utamojascha Viryavan Saubhadro Drupadeyascha Sarva Eva Maharataha. There are also great heroic, powerful fighters like Dritaketu, Chetikana, Kasiraja, Purojit, Kuntiboja, and Saibya. They are the mighty Yudhadama, Yudhamanyu, the very powerful, Uttamoja, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters. Yeah, those are the 2, 4 to 6.
So we'll do 7 next week. All right. Now I've been attempting to say the Durga Shtaktam. If this right, there's 2 other mantras I'm trying to do. So can we? I see there's accents on the letters in here. So can you? We'll start with 4. Can you say the one word and I'll repeat it so I can learn, get my tongue?
Okay. Atra,
Atra,
Sura,
Sura,
Maheshvasa.
Maheshvasa.
Bhima Arjuna,
Bhimar, Arjuna,
Sama,
Sama,
Yudhi.
Yudhi.
Yuyu,
Yuya,
Dano,
Dano,
Viratas,
Viratas,
Viratascha.
Viratascha.
Drupadas,
Drupadas,
Cha,
Cha.
Maharataha.
Say that one more time.
Maharataha.
Maharataha.
So if you look at most of the H at the ends, you normally add an additional A to the end.
Okay.
So, for example, Maharataha.
Maharataha. Okay.
Yeah.
And 5.
Drista Kestu.
Drista Kestu. No, say that again. I didn't hear it sound right to my ear.
Drita Kestu.
Drita Kestu.
Right. Chikit.
Chikit.
Anaha.
Anaha. Should there be another A at the end?
Yeah.
Anaha.
Anaha.
Anaha. Okay.
Kasi.
Kasi.
Rajas.
Rajas.
Chavi.
Chavi. So
Chavir. Yavana.
I don't have that word.
Okay, so Kasi Rajascha and VIR. Vir Yavana.
Vir Yavana. Okay.
Yeah. Purojit.
Purojit.
Kunti. Bojas. Cha. Sabias. Cha.
So is that one word? Is that one word? Sabias Cha?
No.
Okay.
Sabias is one word and Cha separate.
Okay. Sabias Cha.
Narar. Pungavaha. Next one. Yuda. Manyus. Cha. Vikranta. Uta. Mojas. Cha. Vir. Yavana. So we have two Viryavana. Subhadro. Draupad. Ayas. Cha. Sarva Eva. Maharataha.
Oh, I feel so much better than the first time I started. It's like 3 weeks ago.
Yes. But what I realized with it, if you learn even only 10 verses, you know to yourself personally, and you pick up the Bhagavad Gita, you could read any verse you could read.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. And from 4 to 6, you could pick up some easy words like the names of the sons, Bhim, Arjun, Draupad, Kunti. You could pick up on names with him. So it makes it easier.
Yeah. It helps. It's all good. So in these 3 verses, we already talked about how the teacher was there and he saw that his 2 students and his ideal pupil was Arjuna, and that there were going to be a battle. And you said he already saw his death, correct?
Yes.
Right. So now in these 3 verses, there is this the narrator that's telling everybody who's in the battle, or is this the conversation between
Sanjaya and the Blind King?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's just saying who's on the Pandava side. Okay, but the Blind King is trying to tell him that he's not scared, right? Because he's got mighty warriors too.
Yeah, both sides has, but the Pandavas has more mighty power than the Kaurava side.
Oh, in the description, the mighty power doesn't necessarily mean like physical strength. It was talking more like discipline, and they're strategic, and they're not like frontline warriors where they're going in and fighting, right? So if we apply it to life in a sense, it's like when there's something happening in front of you that you feel like you have to fight or you do have to defend yourself, rather than responding in a way that's aggressive or not thoughtful or not mindful, it's better to kind of look to see what's happening and then respond appropriately. And it sounds like as this battle was coming, the uncles and the other warriors, they were aware of defend who they were defending, and not so much righteous, but they were defending people of principles.
Yeah.
Okay. So that makes sense.
Yeah, because there were only the 5 of them with Sri Krishna, so they were considered more mightier in that aspect, spiritually, mentally, whatever it is. But the Kauravas, they have more of men. They have more physical strength, more hands on the battlefield. Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
Why was Duryodhana so concerned about the strength of the Pandava army?
Duryodhana, right?
Correct. Why was he so concerned about the strength of the Pandava army in the same verse 4-6?
I don't think he was concerned about it. I think they were saying he was trying to tell the Sanjaya, I want to say the narrator of this, but the person he was talking to, he was trying to say, oh, well, I have warriors too. I have all these men that I have the strength, that just because they have these 5 guys in Krishna doesn't mean that we're going to lose. He was trying to bolster himself up. To some degree, think about it. When 2 people, here's a question I have. Do you think a bad person might know that they're not a good person at heart? Sarah?
I'm thinking.
Okay. If somebody if they lie and they steal and they cheat and they're dishonest, they're not a real good friend, meaning they'll tell you they'll be there and they don't show up, they don't follow through with their words. Do you think at some level of their awareness, of their consciousness, they're aware that they're not behaving a right way?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay, so the blind king, he's aware he hasn't been living, like, I don't want to say like a pious life. He's made choices he knows he made that, he shouldn't have made. And he raised his children because parents set the example for their children. His children also led that type of life. So the men that's fighting for him are probably people that he's in charge of. So they're not really there out of their love for him or their respect for him. They're there because that's their king. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay, but to answer your question, Sanjay, he's trying to appease his own pride by telling Sanjaya, the narrator, in a sense that, like, this is nothing. Like, we're gonna win. We have a lot of people. But the truth is that you can have a lot of men, but the people who have the skill and the aim are gonna have a better chance of winning.
I agree. Totally agree.
So even at this time, as he's trying to appease, he's not really, like, the narrator knows the truth, right? So it's kind of like your friend knows the truth, but at the same time, he's going to allow you to be who you are because he sees the pride that you have. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay. So to answer your question as to why he's talking about his army, and like he's afraid, like you said, in a sense, but he's trying to hide the fear.
Correct.
Okay.
He knew the strength of for the Pandavas. He knew how powerful and strong they are, right? And it was only 5 of them. The blind king knew that, Sanjaya knew that, even their teacher, Duryodhana, knew that. Drapada, who are the father of the 5, he also knew that. They have a stronger winning on the battlefield.
Okay. Thank you guys for answering my question.
Thank you for asking. Any more?
Thinking about it.
Okay, we have time. We can edit. This is a really good verse. These verses are really good in thinking of, like, the psychology of people, right? As I was saying that, when you're looking at what is it? Even think of it as a good way. Let's not think of it as a bad way, right? if we thought about fear, and we thought about fear of like taking the next step to better ourselves, how many times do you think, or how often do we think we let our mind, another part of ourselves, talk us out of it?
So I have a reflective question here. And while doing some research, just now on the verse, a question posed, and I'm gonna share it with you guys. Have you ever faced a situation where you had to acknowledge the strengths of others, and how did it affect your actions? How would you go about, based on chapter 46, how would you go about answering that question?
Do you want to go first, Rhea?
You could go first,
All right.
and I'll add to you.
Okay, so
I can repeat the question if you would like.
Yes, please.
All right, let me repeat. Have you ever faced a situation where you had to acknowledge the strengths of others, and how did it affect your action?
Yes. As a team player in soccer, you know, there's always positions. And when you're a team player, or you play in a team sport, you always know it's not just you when the team wins. And I think having that mentality is really important. And being raised like with siblings and stuff and knowing how to share, that's a really good mentality to have. I've never personally had a struggle or a hard time like complimenting people or praising them for things that I see in them. I think it's really, you know, because sometimes even too, when people say good things about me, I'm like, nah, you know, like I don't see it, or, you know, I don't believe it to some degree. I've never had to struggle, I think, in seeing the good in other people. What I've had struggle with is when I know that there's somebody that did something wrong and they didn't do it like wholeheartedly or with good intent to somebody else. Depending on the situation, if it's an employment or a job, like the thought about like, should I say something comes up more easier than if I was like with some friends and one friend did something wrong to another friend. That doesn't stop me from saying they were wrong. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay. I think for me, understanding, like really putting myself in other people's shoes makes it easier to make decisions.
Okay, so you adapt, basically.
I think you have to be flexible.
For whatever situation.
Well, not only do you adapt, the thing is you have to know, I think I have to know who I am, my morals, my values, and then when the situation presents, that's what I was saying about these chapters, is that if there's something happening in front of you and you know who you are, you're not going to react. You're not going to be angry unless you're the person who hasn't dealt with emotions and you're triggered by this. But I feel there's maturity in responding, meaning that you see what's happening, you kind of pull back from the situation, you determine where's the right and the wrong in this. Like not so much good and bad, but is the action taken, was the consequence okay? And really look at the situation before you take action.
Okay. Thank you for your response.
You're welcome. Coming back for you. You're gonna have to give us an answer. Go ahead, Rhea.
Action.
Okay, so I did have to have that experience recently where I acknowledge someone's strength. And what I do notice about myself is that I'm mostly an empath, and I'm driven to humanistic values. So I can be able to identify those that have strengths that are similar to mine, and I can be able to use that to their benefit and my benefit. So in a way, it affects my actions and the way I behave to them. And I know in us humans, we are driven to be good and to do good. So doing good reflects that outward action for me to that person. So yeah, recently I had an experience where I acknowledged someone's strength really close to me and what they would do for me. And it's not anyone within my home, but like I got so emotional thinking about it, and it really opened up my mind to how I can be able to use my humanistic values to help others in a way. That's area
Okay, great.
contribution part.
How about you, Sarah? Have you had a recent experience or experience like that?
Recently, yes. And what I did, I just observed my surrounding, and I would have provided a few up of feedback based on that, advice where possible, and provide comfort too as well.
How did you feel?
It was, I would say it was a bit emotional because, for myself, if I was in a situation like that person, then I would have been all out emotional. But just listening to that person's story made me emotional. So
That's wonderful. I think that's like what Ria is saying. It's like when that the compassion in you, and the care for humanity, that was an individual, and you can take the time to take in the information, and then give feedback. And the empathic part is where you were able to decipher your emotions from hers. Like her story made you emotional, but it wasn't necessarily your emotions to then lead you to like give guidance and counsel. And that's powerful. That's powerful because a lot of the times people have a difficult time holding space for other people's emotions and other people's stories, because I believe that people have a hard time holding space for other people's stuff is because they haven't really processed and dealt with their own things.
Yeah.
So when another person's story comes and it triggers something in them that has not been resolved, it makes them even more uncomfortable and not able to give comfort. So that's wonderful. Great question.
weird. Yes, I'm not sure if you're aware, but I'm a staff at the University of Guyana, and we have these counseling. We have a counseling inclusion unit, and it's been governed through my department. And usually, let's say for instance, if you have like any staff or any students is having like any challenges or would like seeking counseling in any aspect of their lives, it could be academically, it could be their own private lives, they would reach out to us. And that is where I had the experience last week with one person. And even though I would have provided comfort to that person and also counseling, I would have also redirected that person to speak with a professional so that they can have further guidance and counseling in a more professional manner. So you see, all of it comes out in that aspect of it.
I think it's really good that you were aware to know like your limit, right? And what you were capable or are capable of providing. And I think when you saw, it says a lot about you that when you saw the need for that person to have professional help or even more guidance and counseling, that you were willing, to request or ask or however you guided them. That I think this says a lot about you, and that's really awesome.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So you felt good. So to answer the question you proposed to us, you felt good knowing that.
Correct. She was a little relief after we spoke. She was a little relief, and then I would have redirected her to professional help, and she would have gotten that right away. It was a right away service. Once I called and requested, she would have gotten it right away. So she basically would have just continued the conversation that we both had, because I would have enlightened the guidance and counseling officer about her situation.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Ray, as an empath, do you find that like are you dealing with a lot of people, like, or do you struggle with when like you're in big spaces or when you're we can't hear you. I don't know if you're on mute.
Close to me. Like I knew them on a certain level, so it depends. I could be able to sense to pick it up. Strangers, it wouldn't be so much for strangers.
But more people that are in your heart space that you feel.
Yeah, like on my vibrational level, you could say. Yeah.
Okay. Do you use anything for protection? Okay. It's a whole nother topic, but I just want to make sure you're good.
And it is a whole other topic.
All right. Sarah, do you have another wonderful question? That was great.
I haven't thought about it anymore.
Well, this was wonderful.
Probably in the next session I'll come up to other questions.
I would truly love that. I love having you on tonight. And I'm really glad you joined. It means a lot.
Yes, thank you. Even though my father has been calling for me because I have some stuff to do for him. So,
well, we're going to get off and then you can decide what you're going to do.
because he's calling for me to get some stuff finished, so I was about to ask if I can be excused now. In the meantime, you guys close down.
We're all gonna, if Ria's good, then we can meet up next week. Are we set for Thursday, right? At 8? Wonderful. All right. Well, you guys have a wonderful weekend, okay?
You too.
All right.
Take care.
Harry Ball. You gotta say.
Haribo.
Okay. Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.